Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Mayfield Felton, and I want to welcome you to Feet Planted LLC. This is Women's History Month, and I told you in my post last week that I was going to bring you fabulous women. Well, tonight is the night. I am excited to have a conversation with an individual that I consider a colleague, a friend. She is an amazing person, Miss Joy Champion. Welcome, Joy. How are you?
Good evening. Hello. I'm doing great.
That is awesome. So let me just talk a little bit about Feet Planted. For those of you that are new to this channel, Feet Planted LLC is on a mission to encourage students to succeed in life and in STEM. I bring you relevant content, motivational words, encouragement, so that you know that you too can achieve great things. And I really hope that you get a lot of information out of Miss Champion this evening. I am going to put a brief description and link of her bio in the YouTube description, as well as contact information if you have any questions to ask her. Trust me, you're gonna have questions. Miss Champion packs a wallop, okay? And one of the things that I really enjoy about her is that we are both chemical engineers. We have that in common. So I am going to toast to her right now. I've got my Black and Chem beaker mug with my water so that when I get parched, clink. Shout out to Black and Kim. So we have a lot of information for you. And even if you aren't interested in chemistry, don't worry. She's going to provide you with a lot of great information. So let's go ahead and get started and not delay any further. All right, I'm going to read Ms. Champion's bio. And I'm going to start with the fact that she was raised in Darlington. She's going to have to tell us where Darlington is, South Carolina. She graduated number 3 in her high school graduating class and continued on to receive, as I said before, a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. For those of you that understand where that is, I get pride. I was going to say it, but I'm going to let her say it first. She graduated magna cum laude. She has a master of business administration degree with a concentration in project management from the University of Mary Washington. So you all see, we're STEM folks, but we have other gifts as well. She started her career at Honeywell in 2000 as a product development engineer. In 2004, she began supporting the Marine Corps as a support contractor at Marine Corps Systems Command, which is where we met. She was a senior program analyst for the contamination avoidance team within the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear division. That's a mouthful. She may actually share some information about what all that means when we get to our questions. She is a federal government civilian serving 2 commands. She's responsible for leading efforts to improve Marine Corps Systems Command, systems engineering, health through talent management at entry-level employees. Basically, y'all, she takes care of the workforce, the engineering and IT workforce, and the developmental hires. So as they come into the command, she looks out for them with training, mentorship, developmental opportunities, and manages over 500 individuals in the workforce. She's got a pretty significant job. She is married, sorry, fellas, and has 3 wonderful children. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. In her personal time, all right now, in her personal time, she is a praise dance leader, marriage ministry leader, a member of the praise team, and a volunteer with the youth ministry at her church, New Vision Kingdom of God Ministries in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And she is a certified hand dance instructor, period. Okay, so when I said that I'm going to introduce you to amazing women for Women's History Month, I did not disappoint, okay? So before we get started, I just want to, first of all, thank Miss Champion, I'm gonna be official, for coming on to Feet Planted LLC, taking time out of her day. And I just want to give her so many kudos. Again, she's an amazing person. So I'm excited. All right, let's get to it. So Miss Champion, I've read your bio, but I didn't cover everything in your bio. Can you please introduce yourself in your words and talk about your STEM journey?
Outstanding. Thank you so, so much for the honor of being asked to speak. And I am so excited to be here. So my name is Joy Champion, and I reign from the large, big town of Darlington, South Carolina. Now it's very small. We just got a Walmart a few years ago. But it's an amazing small town. I consider myself a small town country girl. And my STEM journey actually started by going to summer camps in between my fifth and sixth grade year. And I've gone to summer camps every summer since then, whether they were academic enrichment camps. The majority were academic enrichment, and then they kind of led more towards STEM related fields. But in the 6th or 7th grade, we had a career day at our junior high school, and the presenters rotated around to different classrooms. And this gentleman, and I don't remember his name, he started his presentation as soon as he came in the door, bold, confident, stating that if you're good at math, if you're good at science and you want to make a lot of money, become an engineer. I was sold. I was completely sold from that point on. I did well in school. I loved math. I still love math to this day. Also enjoy science. And so from there, I just kept on a trajectory of pursuing STEM. When I got into high school, someone said, well, what kind of engineer did you want to be? I didn't know. I didn't have engineers around me, but I did know that I wanted to be an engineer. And so I looked in US News Report magazine, and they do this annual ranking of all the engineers and who are the highest ranking engineers at the time. And at that time, aeronautical engineers ranked #1. And I was like, no, I don't think I really want to do that. And chemical engineering was #2. So I said, that sounds pretty interesting. And then I just so happened to have an amazing chemistry teacher in high school. And that combination of knowing that I enjoyed his class, chemistry was fun. It was interesting. You got to make things, develop things. It was hands-on. That plus my desire to be an engineer kind of married together. And then I decided to pursue chemical engineering. And I am extremely, extremely, extremely glad that that is the path that I chose, because it has opened up so many opportunities and doors for me.
That is awesome. My story is very, very similar to yours. So folks, if you're listening, there is a theme. She saw someone do it, she spoke to someone, and she did her homework. And that led to her going down a path. It was something you said that really interested me, and I want you to expound on it a little bit more. You said that you enjoyed science and you enjoyed math. Math for a lot of students today is like, it's a subject that nobody really wants to become interested in. What would you say to a student that says, I don't like math? Does that mean that I can't be an engineer? How would you answer that question?
I would say absolutely not. Your desire and determination will be what will lead you towards being an engineer. If you're not the greatest or the #1 student in math class or in science class, that is okay. Your desire and your work ethic can get you into so many different places. There is a quote, and I'm probably gonna mess it up, but it kind of speaks to where talent fails, hard work prevails. So just putting in the work. There's some people in class who may just get things real quick. And if you're not that person who gets things very quick, it can be annoying. It's like, oh, I'm not as good as they are in that particular thing. And I didn't understand at the time that that was okay. And if you're not that person, it is okay. That still means you're destined for greatness. Your path just may be different than theirs. And that is perfectly okay, because their path has to be theirs, yours has to be yours. And so you may just need to be the person to ask for some extra help. And that's good, because then when it comes back around, you're extra proficient in it. So I would say, don't be discouraged very easily. Don't allow yourself to be discouraged so easily.
That is awesome. Girl, where were you in calculus? I needed that speech when I was the younger me. That is really very encouraging. And I appreciate that sentiment, because there are students out there that think that if they can't or aren't interested in an area, then that means that STEM or some form of it is not available. And that is not the case. So I appreciate that. My next question is, you talked about getting what I would call a spark, but who actually is one of your mentors, or if you have more than one, who inspires you as a woman in your field today?
So I'll answer that by giving a little preface, because you asked me today, but I want to provide a little insight on who it was when I was in middle school. It was Mae Jemison. It was Mae Jemison, being able to see a Black female, and she had a natural hairstyle. She had a little fro. Even back then, so seeing a Black female astronaut, just knowing that she was out there was inspiring to me. It's like, okay. And then that just really stuck with me. And then so we progressed to today, to some females who are mentors for me. And I would actually have to raise you up on a pedestal, because you are one of my mentors from my time frame of coming to Marine Corps Systems Command. You have just provided great down-to-earth advice, and being able to be an open vessel for things not being okay, but you're still destined for greatness, and continuing to push and encourage, and helping me understand that we all have bad days. Yes. And that is okay too. That does not take away from all that you have in store and your purpose and the things that you need to bring to meetings and your work. So, and your worth, and to the community. So you are one of those female mentors. I have some male mentors as well, but I want to highlight the ladies today.
All right. It is Women's History Month, so I really appreciate that, and our relationship has blossomed since then, and we are co-laborers and colleagues in this STEM space, and making space for others to come behind us. So I consider you a trailblazer indeed. So I'm just excited to know you. I want to go on to the next question about advice that you would give. So you talked about mentorship. You talked about, what happens when I asked about, challenges in classes. So we may have an audience of folks out there that are interested, but not sure how to pursue it, what to do. We're in a different time than it was when we were in school. So what advice and or tools would you give to them today if they're interested in STEM?
Great question. Great question. I would say that when you go to college, if you are thinking about pursuing college, trust and know that whatever degree you choose, it is going to be challenging. Whether it is engineering, whether you choose English, whether you choose PE, basket weaving, it is going to be challenging. And at the end of those 4 years, you're going to walk across the stage with a piece of paper, and people are going to put you in different categories based off of the words that are on that paper. Whether it's engineering, whether it's teacher, whether it's PE, basket weaver. And so if moving forward, if like I said, my desire was, I didn't have a lot growing up. And so I wanted to be able to take care of myself. I felt that I had potential. And so STEM was a means to an end for me. And so I would say to people who are considering, choose be courageous and choose that STEM path, because at the end of those 4 years, if you have a degree and on that paper it says engineering or computer science or something STEM related, your path will be so much broader with those words on the paper than some other degrees. And not to discourage or discredit any other degrees, because we need all types of degrees to be a great community and do great things. But I would say not to be discouraged when it gets difficult, or the thought even before you apply to schools like, oh, that looks way too hard, I can't do that. I would just advise you to look at all the people who are graduating every single year with degrees, knocking it out of the park. It may have been tough. It is going to be tough. Let me be realistic. Not to say it might be. It is going to be tough. You're going to have moments where you want to give up, where it's too hard, where I'm staying up too late. It is all going to be worth it. I promise you, it will all be worth it. So I just encourage you to stay the course. Stay the course. It will be worth it. There's so many opportunities that await for you with those words, engineering or STEM related field, on that piece of paper.
I appreciate that. It's worth it. And I think that's really a good perspective, regardless of the degree. I like what you said. School is hard. 2-year, 4-year education, learning progression is challenging. So just be prepared for that. So I know some of you may be watching and you're saying, well, it's Women's History Month, not STEM month. You're absolutely right. But this is my platform and we talk about STEM here. But I wanted to get to a question, because we are women. And as Ms. Champion has already said, she is in the STEM field, as we both are. I want you to talk about what it's like being a woman in the spaces that you have been in and are in. And you can choose from whichever vantage point you are comfortable with.
Awesome. Being a woman in STEM, I am very often in a room filled with men, where I am the only female. I may be the only Black person. There are rooms where I am the only Black female person. And it is extremely common, to the point where it's my norm. And I initially, being new to the field, coming from an HBCU, being surrounded by Black men, Black women, it was just the norm. And then going into industry and sitting in meetings where I was young, I was excited to be there, but I was surrounded by the majority of men, and I was intimidated. I was very intimidated, and it took a little while for me to develop my confidence and develop my voice, and that what I was afraid to say was important to say. There was value in what I had to say. And so time has matured that to the point where, yes, I come in the room, I'm here. Know that I'm here when I come in the door. Joy Champion is here, and what I have to say matters. And I am not swayed by who is in the room, whether they're all males, whether they're women, whether it's a mixed group, but being confident in what I have to say, and not being swayed by what I see around me. Representation does matter. Representation absolutely matters. And although I may not see people a lot that look like me in leadership positions where I am at, I am glad to be in this spot. There may be someone else who's looking at me and thinking, I want to be there one day. So that's a good thing. But wherever you're at, I just encourage people to continue to develop that confidence, and know that when you step into the room, make your presence known.
That's good. That's good. Okay, I got to recap because you said a lot of great things. Be comfortable in the space and in who you are as you enter into that space as a woman. And you are an African American woman. And so it took you some time. And I really appreciate you for being honest. You didn't just wake up degree in hand and just show up ready to leap tall buildings with a single bound. It was progressive and it took time, and you are here. I'm really glad that you're in the space. So I want to piggyback on something that you said. So we are in a virtual nature. You and I are talking across keyboards from each other. What would you say to students who are trying to find their footing? Well, particularly is Women's History Month, as a woman, that confidence. Can you speak to something that you did or are currently doing to continue to make sure that your presence is felt and that you show up and contribute? Can you speak to something that our younger generation could learn from?
One of the things I had early on was a personal mantra. Personal mantra. When I was in junior high school, more so high school, my personal mantra was keep it classy. Keep it classy. And that kind of carried over into college. And that was just a personal mantra. And so I would encourage young ladies to develop whatever your personal mantra is. One that I have now that kind of resonates with me stems from a greeting card that one of my girlfriends gave to me when I was having a tough time. Just life was just lifing really, really hard. And so she sent me a card, and on the front of the card, it says, "You've got this and that too." And so that's something that kind of resonates in my mind with a lot of things. If I'm working on something and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, Joy, you got this and that too. So when you think about, so for young women who may be thinking about even their next test that they have coming up, you've got that, you've got this and that too. Put in the necessary work, you've got it, you can do it. Not saying that it's not going to be hard, but difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just challenging. You can do it. You can do it. So have a little positive mantra.
That is awesome. You got this and that, and you can do this. And those are affirmations that you can tell yourself. So I'm looking in the video camera and I'm looking at anyone who's watching this. Joy, say it again for those that may have left the room.
You've got this and that too.
There you go. She said it best. I love it. I love it. I want to ask, what has been your greatest challenge as a woman? And it doesn't have to necessarily be from a professional standpoint. We know that in today's society, there is still issues with pay. There's issues with being heard and seen, as we've talked. But what's been your biggest challenge as a woman, and how have you overcome it?
Great question. I'd say my greatest challenge as a woman occurred professionally when I was pregnant with my twins, and I birthed them and they were premature, and my supervisor at the time, who was a male, was very ununderstanding. I know that's not a word.
It's okay, we can make a word. It's all right.
We don't make up a word tonight. He was not very understanding of the pressure and the desire of being a new mom, of preemies, being in the NICU and the hospital, and providing some flexibility for me to work and still see the kids. So that was extremely challenging as a new mom. And so how that has impacted me now is that I understand that we all have work that we have to do, but we can all be a little bit more compassionate to some of the sensitivities that people have going on in their personal situations, whether it is being a new mom, whether it is caring for a loved one that may require a bit of extra work. And for individuals who are in school, if you have a mother that you may be having to take care of, there's additional demands on doing that and doing school. So that part can be a challenge that I think some male counterparts may not automatically identify with as readily accessible as we do as females. So I would just answer that question by saying the lack of compassion by being a caregiver as a new mom.
Okay, so how did you overcome that? And has that situation and lack of compassion caused you to then flip that? So I'm going to tell you right now, I know part of the answer because I read in her bio that she's a mentor. So I'm going to let you answer, but I think I know part of it. So how did you overcome, and what has that changed how you work? And you're overseeing a large workforce as well as being a mother of 3. So you can feel free to speak to both environments. How do you continue to do that with the balance, given some of the challenges that you faced?
Gotcha. So the first part of it is, how did I overcome it? It was tough. It was truly tough. And I don't think that, I don't say I did not do the best job, but I was confined and just had to do what I was allowed to do in that limited space and time. And that was it. I really didn't feel like I had many options or opportunities to change it at that time. However, where I am now, in the position where I have the opportunity to mentor to new people who are graduating from college that are coming on board, or our entire engineering workforce, being able to mentor to folks, that is where I can affect change a bit more now than I could when I was in that place. So sometimes we go through challenges, they're not just for us, but they are stepping stones so that when we get into a better place, we can affect change for others. So I use that to mentor to young women and also to men, our entire workforce, about speaking up and making sure that they're aware of different laws and flexibilities that occur in their work schedules that they may not be aware of. Just making sure that they are aware of a variety of options. So taking advantage of that mentorship.
No, that's good. A lot of common themes here about making sure that your voice is heard and that you're knowledgeable about those opportunities that benefit you. So students, I hope that you're taking notes from Ms. Champion on some of the things that it takes to be successful, and understand that it's progressive and compassion. You're going to hear about a lot of technical terms, perhaps study this, take this class, but we take our whole selves to work. I don't just take part of my chemical engineering, Karen, to work. Ms. Champion doesn't take the technical management part of her to work. We take our entire selves to work. That includes our parent selves, our caregiver selves, single people selves. And so how we show up is really, really important. So I really appreciate you for sharing that, which brings me to my next question. Can you talk about what it's like being a woman who is in STEM? You are a parent, you are involved in your ministries, you are involved in your church, you are a wife, you are a daughter. How do you balance the scope of all that you are as a woman in this space right now?
I have to put it on my Google Calendar, otherwise I'll forget. I have to use my Google Calendar for my work stuff, my personal stuff. When I have meetings for church, I have to put that on there. I even have little reminders on there. When I have to remind my daughter to take some of her medicines, I put that on my Google Calendar. And so amidst all of that, I've had moments where I've been extremely overwhelmed and inundated when I did not do a great job of managing, because I just wanted to help and wanted to get caught up and felt like I was behind. So I had to get caught up. Couldn't just stay behind. So I had to put in the extra effort to get caught up. And then I realized I'm going to schedule some vacation time in my schedule. So I've scheduled that in. So that has helped to balance things a lot for me, putting things in my calendar, because I do have so many different things going on. If I don't put it in my calendar, I might forget. It is a strong likelihood that I will forget. So my Google Calendar is my best friend.
Everybody has a system. If you're out there doing homework, taking tests, you have to keep it somewhere and keep it slightly organized so you don't, I call it so you don't lose the bubble. And as you can see, when you get to be where Ms. Champion is, that doesn't change. Your systems just get different and they adjust to where you are. So kudos to you for having a system. I hope y'all took notes on that. So this is my last question, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to share anything else that you would like for our audience to know. If you could talk to any woman in the world, alive or deceased, who would it be? And what would be your first question you would ask her?
Great question. I would choose my dad's mother, my grandmother. I call her Nana. She has passed on now, but I would choose her and I would ask her, how did she make her macaroni and cheese? And what did she put in her sweet potato pie? What?
I want to know too.
That is what I want to know. I need that in my life. Thanksgivings and Christmas, I would always have a plate of macaroni and cheese and may have some other stuff. So I would ask her, yes, what did she put in that macaroni and cheese? How did she prepare it? And she put something special in the sweet potato pie. I told you I'm a Southern girl. And so it's something special about her sweet potato pie. I don't know if it was a twinge of lemon or something, but yes. So that is what I would do.
So we can't just let you stop it. I can't. So talk about Nana. So this is clearly someone that is important to you. What impact has she had on you in your life?
She has been a grounding force. Thinking back to her, times were so different. Times were so different during that age, but she was able to get a degree in nursing. And then she was a nurse for numerous years. And then she, in the process of nursing, went to school to get her cosmetology license, started doing hair on the side. And then when she retired from nursing, well, while she was nursing, she put money aside to actually build a small beauty shop right beside her house on her property. And so when she retired from nursing, she pursued her job as a hairstylist on her own time in her shop that was on her own property. So she didn't pay rent to anybody. She controlled her own schedule. She was able to be home so that when her grandkids came home from school, she could go in the house and fix us a lunch and then go back and see Miss Betty and take care of her in the chair. So it just provided a great, well-rounded atmosphere. I'm very, very family oriented. And I think a lot of that comes from the upbringing that I had and seeing that education was extremely important, and going after your dreams and desires are very important. There are not many people who had a beauty shop on their own property. And so at the time, I didn't think anything of it. It was just Nana's house and she just had a shop next door. But looking back on it, it was just monumental that she was able to make those strides and do it on her own terms. She was also influential in her community and giving back to the community through other civic groups. So those things have really just impacted me. And I think just being very family oriented, taking care of family, taking care of business, and yeah, trying to adopt a no limit on my aspirations.
I think we just got a peek into the becoming of Miss Champion with that summary. I mean, that's amazing. I can't think of any other word to describe it. So for those of you out there listening, I heard entrepreneurship. I heard taking care of community, taking care of family, taking care of your financial posture, and making sure that you're able to be independent and take care of yourself. To me, that is part of a definition of a woman, and some of the things that we have to do. And you were able to see that and then embody the characteristics and then be the awesome person that I know you to be today. So thanks, Nana. Appreciate all the things that you did to influence Ms. Joy Champion here today. So I am going to, I'm just enjoying this. We could talk forever, but we clearly can't. Everybody has things to do. So I'm going to give you, Ms. Champion, last words to our audience. Is there anything that you would like to impart or say as we celebrate womanhood tonight?
Ladies, young ladies, seasoned ladies, stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Life is not going to stop doing what it does, but we can choose how we show up. We can choose our responses to actions, and we can choose how we respond to people, and be intentional about our choices. Be very aware that we have a choice. We don't have to sit back and take everything, but be intentional about our choices. Be optimistic. Write some positive affirmations down about yourself. Put that on a Post-it note. Keep it on your wall. Maybe put it on a mirror. Because we need to remind ourselves. We don't always hear affirmations or encouragement from other people, but we can encourage ourselves. And I also encourage each and every woman that may be listening to encourage another woman. Yes. They may not hear it, but encourage another woman. There is enough space at the table. We don't have to push anybody aside. There is enough space at the table. And so let's just continue to encourage each other and lift each other up. That's all I got.
I don't have anything else to say. That was amazing. Thank you so much for pouring into women. Those are some amazing, and I keep saying the word amazing, but those words, if others aren't speaking them to you, I love the affirmations. Please, please, please listen to that. Thank you, Ms. Champion, for blazing a trail, for being a mentor, for being a leader in the spaces that you are in and have been in. And it has been an absolute pleasure of mine to have a conversation with you as we celebrate women. And I celebrate you and just wish you the absolute best in anything and everything that you touch and see. For those of you who are interested and may want to talk to Ms. Champion, I mean, as you can see, she's just dropping knowledge and pearls. We're going to provide some contact information so that you can get some proximity to her. Young ladies, she's somebody you need to know, for sure, for sure. So again, thank you for tuning in to Feet Planted LLC. Again, we are celebrating Women's History Month. Thank you, Ms. Champion, for agreeing to be my guest. And stay tuned, everyone, for more trailblazing, amazing women. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my video. I bring fresh content to you every week on Wednesday. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notified when I update my content every Wednesday.